It is a dark purple moonlit night, but Company Havildar Major CHM Piru Singh Shekhawat cannot afford to look up. The route is steep and filled with loose stones, and one misstep can send him plunging down into the pit, leaving a mass of broken flesh and bones. Piru Singh's boot has just struck a rock that has gone tumbling down, and for a fraction of a second, he stops to look at its deep descent, and then he looks up at the treacherous ridge. He and a section of Delta Company, 6 Rajputana rifles, are turning. If he arches his neck right up at angle of 180 degrees, he can see where the mountain ends, dark, craggy and uninviting. There is where enemy sits, and that is where he and his men are headed. The company has been tasked with attacking and dislodging Pakistani regulars from the Tarapari in the Titwal sector of Kashmir. It is at a height of 11,481 feet, and the attacking company has been told that the enemy is sitting there, watching the narrow path that winds its way up. Though they have probably not had enough time to dig in deep. Piru Singh takes a few deep breaths and resumes his climb. The air is starting to get colder, and the long march of 30 miles all the way from Tangdhar has started telling the spirit of the soldiers. He knows that they are tired, and to distract himself on the wrong climb ahead, Piru Singh lets his thought drift 9 months back. His battalion had been in Gurgaon, involved in internal security duties, and order came for them to move to Kashmir. The hill state needed to be defended from the raiders, the Pathans and the Pakistani regulars. The soldiers were airlifted to Srinagar on 5th of November 1945. For many of them, it was the first ride in an airplane. And for a few of the moments at least, the threat of the war was overshadowed by the thrill of the first plane ride. The task of capturing Tarapari was given to 6th Rajputana Rifles under the command of Lieutenant Colonel S.S. Khalid on 16th of July 1948. And on 18th of July, the battalion attacked along the narrow and the razor-sharp ridge of Tarapari. The path that leads from the company's forward position to Tarapari is barely 1 meter wide, and on both sides are the gorges, and the soldiers are moving ahead silently in the dark, loaded rifles in their hands, and the company has been tasked with clearing the Tarapari. And after that had been secured, C Company is to move in, pass through attack and capture the second feature. Night time has been chosen for action deliberately, so as not to alert the enemy soldiers and to take them unaware. Nobody will talk, light a match or even cuff. Piru Singh, whose battalion is leading, attacked as his men, and they nod in agreement. Up somewhere there are the Pakistanis, and Piru Singh is sure they have the path in their gun's sight. Alerting them the presence of the Indian Army soldiers would be suicidal. Intelligence report says that the enemy could not have had time to make proper trenches, and hence it would be easy to throw them out. But these reports turn out to be wrong. Unknown to the soldiers, the enemy has dug 5 bunkers that overlook this narrow path and had it covered completely by 3 MMG guns. And the Pakistanis are also anticipating an attack and are alert. So the moment advancing soldiers reached close to their bunker, they opened fire. D Company is trapped in this bottleneck and caught completely unaware. Bullets and shells fly in the cold night, which reverberates with the screams of hit soldiers. And within a short span of 30 minutes, as many as 51 soldiers become casualties to the machine guns, grenade attacks and 2-inch and 3-inch mortars. Piru Singh does not stop it and decides to put his life at the risk to further the advance of his company. And the battle would be lost right then if he would have not taken this step. Piru Singh is with the forward section. Half of his men have fallen already, and he can see them bleeding, limbs ripped apart, and their moans filling the gaps in the dim of the crossfire. Some of them are dead, others are disabled by their injuries. Piru Singh himself was miraculously escaped, though his clothes are singed and ripped by the grenade attacks, and his arms and legs are bleeding from civilian injuries. He knows that the only way to tackle these attacks is to silence the machine guns that are breathing fire on the mountain. Completely unmindful of his own safety, he makes a dash for the nearest bunker from where the machine gun fire is coming. Rushing through the hail of bullets, he sprays the enemy soldiers, lodged into the trench with Sten gun. Before they realize he is there, he jumps and bayonets the man handling the gun. They fall with loud screams of pain and shock, and guns fall in silence. But by then, the damage is done, and the Piru Singh realizes that all his comrades are dead. He is the only one left alive in the section. Screaming in anger, he leaps across the boulder to the next MMG post. The enemy has noticed his lone attack and direct fire at him. The grenade flung at him finds its mark. It wounds him in the face and eyes. But Piru Singh is beyond pain and discomfort. He doesn't notice the blood dripping down his chin and seeping into his shirt collar. Climbing out of the trench, he wipes the blood out of his eyes and starts lobbing grenades at the next enemy position. Walking through the attacking fire, he makes his way to the second bunker and climbing in, bayonets the two soldiers manning the medium machine gun. All of the guns have fallen silent, but he knows there is one more. But by now, he is starting to lose his consciousness. Because of the excessive blood loss, his eyes are shutting. The blood is dripping right into them. By sheer dint of willpower, Piru Singh forces his eyes to stay open. But he pulls himself out to the second trench with great difficulty and shouting out the battalion war cry, Raja Ramchandra ki Jai. He pulls out a grenade. He has not reached the third bunker when a bullet hits him in the head. Piru Singh knows he is falling. He wants to reach the next machine gun, but he no longer has any power over his limbs. Grenade in hand, he tries to walk, but his leg collapses under him even as he drove to the ground. Even as he drove to the ground, he manages to remove the pin from the last grenade and lobs it to the third bunker. The grenade traces an arch, and as Piru Singh lies breathing his last on the ridge of Darapari, he wills his eyes to stay open. He watches the grenade find its mark. A long blast rings out, and he watches the bunker collapse. Killing the enemy soldiers and silencing the MMG inside, Piru Singh Shekhawat finally closed his eyes. C Company commander witnesses this act of heroism while directing fire in support of the attacking company. For his unmatched bravery, inspiring example and superhuman courage in the face of the enemy, CHM Piru Singh Shekhawat is awarded the Paramveer Chakra posthumously, and the 6th Battalion Rajputana Rifles is awarded by the Battle Honour of the Darapur. This was the story of Veer Piru Singh Shekhawat and his company 6th Rajputana Rifles. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, be happy, be optimistic and keep smiling. Jai